She left work like any other day, but never made it home. Weeks earlier, 3 men warned her someone paid to have her hurt. Then, her car was found abandoned, her keys locked inside a closed restaurant. 3 decades later, no answers. On a cool January evening in 1994, a woman walked out of a department store and into the unknown. She didn't leave a note. She didn't make a final phone call. She simply vanished. Mary Ann Johnson, a 54-year-old account representative at Robinson's May department store in Los Angeles, had spent her day at work like any other. Before leaving, she casually mentioned to colleagues that she planned to meet her estranged husband the next day. That meeting would never happen. Instead, she would become a name on the long list of missing persons. Her case buried under decades of unanswered questions, eerie coincidences, and chilling warnings that, in hindsight, seemed to foreshadow her fate. What really happened to Mary Ann? And why, after more than 30 years, does her disappearance remain a terrifying mystery? Mary Ann Johnson was last seen on January 19, 1994, leaving her workplace in Los Angeles, California. As an account representative at Robinson's May department store, she was known for her reliability and professionalism. That day, nothing about her demeanor seemed unusual. No signs of distress, no indication that she was in any trouble. She had told her coworkers about an upcoming meeting with her estranged husband, Andrew Johnson, scheduled for the next day. But when questioned by investigators later, Andrew denied any such plan. He admitted that they had spoken on the day she disappeared, but insisted that there had been no arrangement for a meeting. This discrepancy would be the first of many troubling elements in Mary Ann's case. Her loved ones knew she was in a complicated phase of her life. She and Andrew had separated the year before, but had not filed for divorce. They were reportedly attempting to reconcile, though their relationship was still uncertain. Together, they co-owned a restaurant, Louisiana West, in Van Nuys, but it had recently gone out of business. Financial struggles and the stress of failed ventures had weighed on them both. Was Mary Ann planning to see Andrew that night? If so, did she get to their meeting spot? And if not, where did she go after leaving work? These questions remain unanswered to this day. 1 week after Mary Ann was last seen, on January 26, 1994, her black 1988 Chevrolet Corvette was discovered abandoned in the parking lot of Louisiana West, the very restaurant she and Andrew had once owned together. By that time, the restaurant had been shut down and locked, but inside the vacant building, investigators found something strange: Mary Ann's car keys. The discovery raised an unsettling question. How did the keys end up inside the locked restaurant while her car remained outside? If Mary Ann had been inside the building, why would she have left without her car? And if someone else had placed her keys there, how did they gain access to a locked property? The restaurant, once a lively business, now stood empty and silent, holding a secret that investigators have never been able to crack. Perhaps the most chilling detail of Mary Ann Johnson's case is what happened in the weeks leading up to her disappearance. In late December 1993, approximately 1 month before she vanished, she was approached by 3 men with a terrifying message. They claimed that someone had paid them $800 to break her legs. Instead of carrying out the job, the men took the money and warned Mary Ann instead. They refused to say who had hired them or why she was targeted. Shaken but unharmed, Mary Ann confided in her sister about the threat, but it wasn't reported to authorities until after she went missing. The implications were alarming. Someone had a reason to want her hurt, someone willing to pay for violence. If these men had refused to do the job, had the person behind the threat simply found someone else willing to go further? Detective Robert Cosley of the LAPD's West Valley Division later acknowledged the importance of this threat, noting that it played a significant role in shifting the investigation toward foul play. Initially, Mary Ann's case was treated as a missing persons investigation, with hopes that she might have left voluntarily or was temporarily unreachable. But as weeks turned into months with no sign of her, investigators came to a grim realization: she wasn't missing by choice. By June 1994, just 5 months after she disappeared, police publicly stated that they believed Mary Ann Johnson had met with foul play. City Councilwoman Laura Chick, whose district included Reseda, where Mary Ann lived, introduced a motion to offer a $10,000 reward for information about her fate. This move signaled that authorities saw her case as a high-priority investigation. The decision to offer a public reward also suggested that investigators were at a standstill, hoping that someone somewhere might come forward with a long-hidden secret. But no one ever did. Theories and speculations. What really happened? Over the decades, several theories have surfaced regarding what might have happened to Marianne Johnson. 1. The threat that turned deadly. The most obvious theory connects her disappearance to the ominous warning she received weeks earlier. If someone was willing to pay $800 to have her harmed, it's possible they escalated their efforts, leading to her permanent disappearance. This theory is supported by the suspicious timeline. Only weeks separated the threat from her vanishing. It suggests she had made an enemy capable of more than just threats. 2. A business deal gone wrong. The fact that her abandoned vehicle was found outside the failed restaurant she co-owned raises another possibility, that her disappearance was linked to business-related troubles. Failed businesses can lead to disputes, financial entanglements, and even dangerous debts. Did she unknowingly cross the wrong person? A domestic dispute. While no direct evidence has implicated Andrew Johnson, investigators would naturally have looked into his possible involvement. The inconsistency between what Marianne told her colleagues about meeting Andrew and his denial of those plans raises suspicions. If they had met, what happened during that meeting? If they hadn't, who else did she encounter that evening? The fact that her car was found outside their shared business suggests a connection to someone in her personal circle, but without evidence, this theory remains speculation. As of 2025, Marianne Johnson's case remains unsolved, lingering in the databases of missing persons and cold cases. She is still listed in the California Department of Justice's Missing Persons Database and the Charlie Project, which documents cases of missing individuals, particularly those suspected to have vanished under suspicious circumstances. Despite the passage of time, her case continues to be featured on websites dedicated to missing Black women and girls, a grim reminder of the many cases that receive less media attention than others. For Marianne's family, the pain of not knowing has never faded. They are left without closure, no body to bury, no last words, no justice. More than 30 years later, the same haunting questions remain. What happened to Marianne Johnson? Who wanted to harm her? And why has her case remained unsolved for so long? Somewhere, someone knows the truth. But until that truth comes to light, she remains another chilling mystery, one more life lost to the shadows of the unknown.